Okay, sharing with you just a few of the many great jazz ed resources that are out there. This is unbelievable. The Real Easy book, Sher Music, 3-horn edition. 3-horn edition. This is important, and I'll tell you why in a second. This book was out before just as a single line book, meaning like a fake book, not arranged. And it would come out in C, B flat, E flat, and bass clef. Great, a lot of strong tunes. Maybe there's about 50 tunes in here. I don't know the exact number. Okay, we used that for years at camps. And in the Sher music tradition, the layout is always beautiful, clear, just beautifully laid out, which is really important, and it helps in teaching, and it helps everyone learn how to follow codas and things like that, DSs. Then they came out with this 3-horn edition, and this still has what the other book had, the original book, where you open it up and on one side is the melody, and on the other side you have the bass, a bass line. You'll have voicings. You may even have some guitar voicings. So each tune has that information to help the rhythm section, because the rhythm section is often neglected, but it gives it to you, and that's why these books are so great. But this is a 3-horn arrangement, and this is different. This is so now, and I ran into a couple things that made me realize that there's much more out of this book than maybe even the publishers realized. I have a lab band at Rowan University where I teach, and it could have anything. I've had bass clarinets, cellos, flutes, violins. We have the regular big band instrumentation, but I run this group, saxes, trumpets, trombones. I've had marimba. I've had harp. I have had all different kinds of instruments in this lab band that I conduct, and I have the students write for it. But we always start the year, without a lot of music, because we have to create it. This came out, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get 5 of the E flat books. I'm going to get 5 B flat books, 5 C books, 5 bass clef, and I'm going to hand it out. I'm going to divide my band by key, not by instrument. Now, this is just my own thing, and it came out of a need, but it went way past success. We're way past success into unbelievably great, which is the next level beyond success. So anyway, I handed this thing out, and I said, all right, who wants part 1? Because it's 3-horn parts. You'll see like Blue 7, the song Blue 7. Who wants part 1? All right, you guys. Who wants part 2? You guys. Who wants part 3? You guys. Okay. We'll play it. We'll play the melody twice. The first time, just part 1 play. The second time through, we'll add 2 and 3. And also in this, they have backgrounds for solo sections in many of the tunes. And there's also a shout section, which means somebody organized a shout, which automatically peaks a chart. Okay, so now I'm in front of my band. I could play the melody, have it repeat, and give the sense that it's orchestrated, because parts 2 and 3 come in. Open it up for solos, which can take how long, and we can cue backgrounds, which are written in, and have another solo. We cue backgrounds, and then cue again for the shout. Everybody plays the shout. That's the peak of the chart. Then you go back. You just follow the coda the way it's written out. You go back and you play the melody out. You have a tune, but you have a tune that's paced as a chart. Even though this works for 3 horns, this works for almost anything. And I'm using it that way. I'm using this thing for 17 horns, and none of the horns are traditional. I have a girl on bassoon. She's sitting in the bass clef part. There aren't any brass, saxes, trombones. I don't set it up like that. I set it up based on key. You're the E flat guys. You're the B flat guys. You guys all sit, and even within, if you have a B flat person sitting next to another B flat person, one B flat person may be playing part 1, the other one may be playing part 2. So you can, I don't know if I'm making sense here, but what I'm saying is this is written for 3 horns, but it can be used for much, much more. So we can play through Blue 7 and have a completely made, like a brand new orchestration. Then we can do Blue 7 again and have complete different orchestration going on. I don't have to have I can have 2 people playing the melody. I can have 5 people playing the melody. I can have a tuba. I've had tuba. They always want to play the melody because they never get a chance. So this tuba player always wanted the melody. So all right, play the melody. Just he has the B flat part, turns to part 1. So essentially, what you can do with this, if you're creative, is you can stay in front of a group of players and create your orchestration in the moment and have it work as a chart. And then do it again with completely different orchestration. You can have, if you and this works easy with a big band, but I'm using it with bobos and cellos. I have a French horn player is writing a lot of this out for themselves because they're in F. There isn't an F book for French horn. Not many people are dying to write for a jazz French horn, but I've had French horn players that are interested in hopping in, so they're writing this stuff out in F. If they had an F book, then you have everything. I've done this. I bought 5 of each key, and I've done it with wind ensembles, and it works. It can't not work because the music is right. The arrangements are strong. The shout chorus was arranged by somebody who knows what they're doing. It's not a weak shout chorus. It's good harmony. It works. So it's just this thing has a potential to be a whole other thing than I think the publishers may have thought about. I'm doing clinics on how to use this book in a setting of almost any instrument and how to redo it. And I'm teaching band directors you can orchestrate right on the fly. Somebody's taking a solo, you can reorchestrate the background. Everybody has it, just pick different people. It's unbelievable. You can orchestrate in real time and change it every time. So immediately, let's say I'm getting excited. That's what happens when I like something. Calm down, Den. I don't want you to blow a gasket here. You can reorchestrate every tune each time you play it. It can be different each time, and you have total freedom as the conductor. You just don't have to keep time up there. If you create a series of signals, like we're taking it out, shout chorus, here's your background. Once the students know your series of symbols that mean, what the next direction would be, you could steer this live. I've done some of these in concert where we just created different orchestrations on the fly. The kids, once they get used to it, it's fine because this gives you all the info. It's a little, you almost need to see a clinic to make it work, but these books are just, the potential is off the charts. I immediately, when I started to use the book this way, I immediately had 50, I guess that's how many tunes are in here, something like that. 50 extra charts like that. With each chart, each of the 50 being, having the potential of being orchestrated endless ways. You could reorchestrate the same tune, say 10 different ways with 50. That's an awful lot of chart. So this has changed the game. I'm teaching my students how to use the book that way. I'm teaching my jazz ed kids, the education kids. I give a clinic at school how to use the book that way. And I'm traveling around my area, around Philly area, where I'm from, giving clinics on how to use this book that way. It was a breakthrough for me. I'm not even sure, like I said, I know they put out a great 3-horn book, but this can be much, much more. But anyway, the Real Easy Book 3-horn edition, that's the one you want. And I would recommend getting a couple B flats, getting a couple C's, getting a couple E flats, getting a couple of bass clefs, and then you're covered. But you can't beat it. Sher music. This is a game changer for me. Big game changer. It's great.